Mew, mew, mew. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I'm watching the Velocitron Speedia 500. Mew, mew. But what does that have to do with this video? Well, if it wasn't obvious already, it's the name of a Walmart exclusive subline of Transformers Legacy. Oh boy, we got a special one today. One of only two non-repaints in Wave 1. It's the man or woman of the planet themselves. It's Override. It's frickin' Cybertron Override. Cybertron Universe Override. Yes, ooh, new box. Vehicle mode package. I like it. No plastic ties. Biodegradable. Nice, I guess. I mean, because we totally haven't already fucked up the environment beyond belief. Besides that, pictures of Override in her alt mode. It's Velocitron Speedia 500, named after the planet Velocitron in Transformers Cybertron. I almost said Cyberverse. But no, the Cybertron cartoon from the early 2000s. Actually, it was about 2005, so mid 2005, 2006, mid 2000s. Pictures all over. I like this. I like the look of the box. Even got the planet logo right here. Got the planet logo right there. Got another picture of Override on the back. More pictures of Override. And no sad Pac-Man. Aww. But I like sad Pac-Man. Ooh, but it actually says more than meets the eye. Autobots bring their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. Alright. We have Override. The first one in this set I've picked up. The main one I was really wanting to get a hold of. Like Cosmos, Override, Cosmos, Scourge, and maybe G2 Road Rocket. Because like everything else I've talked about is just straight repaints. Like Road Hauler and the police car and the repaint of Skids, not interested. But new mold, Cybertron character, yes please. And if you'll recall, something I said back in my, I think it was 10 things I want in Transformers Generations, that old video, I said something like, Cybertron doesn't need an update, it's perfect as it is. Well, here's me being a dumbass because one of the toys that absolutely needed a proper modern figure was in fact Override. I don't have a toy, the original toy of Override, but like it had weird proportional issues and like spring-loaded gimmicks, so it just one of those toys that needed a proper update, and we have one, and it's very, very nice. I'm very enamored with her. She's been sitting here for almost a week since I got her. And apparently there was a rumor at one point that she was going to be a remold. Let me turn off my fan. It's the only one I have. Of Studio Series Rodimus. Which I'm actually surprised they haven't used this mold yet. They repurposed Hot Rod. I mean, besides the sort of... actually, there's nothing I can see really that they would use. So, I'm I'm actually glad that they went with a whole new mold for Override, but one that nails pretty much everything the character needed. Modern articulation, a decently proportioned chest. That was the biggest issue with the spring load transformation on Override, was the chest was just way too bulky for her. But this chest, very proportionate and not femme stylized. Looking at RC, even though I don't have an RC around me. I guess the best example is Moonracer from Power of the Primes, with just all her junk on her backpack and big tits, slim waist, that kind of thing, which doesn't work well with transforming when you all think about it. And this gal, very good. I like quite a bit. And I do keep using that word because it's very similar to Airazor in Beast Wars, where in the English she was voiced by a female voice actor, but in the Japanese cartoon she was voiced by a male voice actor. So, and also her name, or if you want to go his name, was a Nitro Convoy, which that word holds a lot of weight because it's the Japanese equivalent to Optimus Prime, whose name in Japan is Convoy. Rodimus Prime, Rodimus Convoy. Convoy is basically the word they use to denote leadership in the Autobots or the Cybertrons, which is, they're called the Cybertrons in Japan, which is kind of stupid considering the planet is Cybertron. And then the Decepticons were like, I forget the exact, not Despotrons, something similar, not quite Decepticons. But, I mean, I guess Cybertrons make sense because they live on Cybertron. I just like Autobots. Autobots, because they're automotive robots, cars, not autonomous robots like the movie, the Michael Bay movie made. Anyway, let's actually talk more about the figure. I really like this design. And the very little amount of Cybertron I watched was very early on when they were on Velocitron, and they were having a race, and Megatron was a car, who I forgot to grab, but is right there, size comparison. Here she is with Cybertron Megatron. Very much not in scale, but appropriate right now. Somebody who else is in that very early arc and has sort of the very first character arc I can remember is Cybertron Hotshot. Here's a size comparison. Smooth. Oh, I forgot to grab Vector Prime, but I did grab Leo Breaker, who, if we're also talking about Cybertron toys that need updates, fucking Leo Breaker. Like, one of the worst toys in a very good toy line that is Transformers Cybertron, or Galaxy Force, if you prefer. And unfortunately, this isn't the Scourge that's in the Velocitron subline, but I don't think we need a new version of this Scourge because this toy is fucking perfect. It's RID Scourge that I need to look for, so there's a size comparison as Scourge falls over. And I think this is Landmine? I can't remember his name. But one of the Autobots. There's a size comparison. Let me just grab Vector Prime. Vector Prime! Where are you? I know exactly where you are, but I'm doing this to create drama and put my hot rod back on the shelf so he can point his guns at Galvatron's crotch. Because I need that Kingdom hot rod to have them in a proper scale. Anyway, here's Vector Prime. Actually, here's Scourge again, because I have to straighten him back up. But here is Vector Prime. There you go. A pew pew. Pew pew. Alright. So, what else is there to talk about in robot mode? Very clean. Like, kibble kept to a minimum. And if you want, you can even remove this because it's her weapon. Weapon storage. You gotta love it. We'll plug into her hand in a bit, but like that is a very nice portrait. I want to say Black Lives Matter on this one, but I don't want to get canceled like Jobby almost did. But even the back has very nice detailing on it. Nice molding. This toy is not hollow at all. It's very nice use of parts. And if I recall something I heard that they Hasbro actually bragged about how few molds they used to make this toy, because like in the molding process they have to create like a giant steel molds for each separate part, and especially for Voyagers, I forget what the number is, but I might TJ Omega talked about the same subject. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I might link to his video if you guys want a more thorough discussion. But like, yeah, that also brings me to my biggest sort of nitpick with this figure. Look at how much empty space is there. They're selling Override Nitro Convoy at a Voyager price point, but it's a deluxe scale figure. Now, I know they've done this recently with like, for example, Cliff Jumper was a deluxe price point, but he was like a small deluxe. Like I can live with that because like they filled out his price point with a massive separating weapon that also turned into a accessory pack for the car mode for like a reference to a shot in the cartoon. But like the reason she's being sold at a Voyager price is because they put in a lot of budget to paint. There's a lot of paint on this girl. Like a lot of this red, like the red on the shins is paint. Her whole head is paint. Like the gold detailing is paint. Like there's like the red on anything. Anytime there's red on white and they're not separate, they're on top of each other. It's paint. So like I appreciate the paint budget. Like freaking, they even gave her gold rims on her wheels. So like yes, the budget went into paint. So they decreased the amount of molds so they could increase the budget on the paint. But like I don't know. I'm happy I picked her up, but I question them going forward how often they're going to pull this kind of thing and how many times are we going to accept basically a deluxe figure at Voyager price. Like even with the Voyagers that were at leader price point, again like Hot Rod, Astro Train, Shockwave, like at least they have accessories or a lot of engineering to make a kind of messy transformation possible. Like Override doesn't even have that, which is unfortunate. Like I think she's definitely selling because people like Override, because it's very rare nowadays to get homages to classic cyber, like G1, Beast Wars. We're moving through the Unicron trilogy, but like if you tell a person maybe who stopped collecting in the early 2000s or started collecting in Cybertron era that in the 2020s we'd have modern versions of Cybertron characters, I don't think they would have believed it. And especially a line that's so dedicated to being upset, like G1. Like Override's nowhere near G1. Even the Scourge, he's a repaint of a G2 character, but he's an RID 2001 character. He became popular due to RID 2001. But like everything else, it's like very G1 centered repaints in this Velocitron subline. You know, I've been talking a lot about everything other than the figure, really. Let's give. Oh, right. One last comparison. Cybertron flipping you off. I just had to do it. There you go. Hey, look. Oh, you must have fucked up when the whole planet's mad at you. Donald Trump. Anyway, let's take a look at the head. Very nice head. I like the forehead gem with the two sort of angled head crest. Not sure, but like they look cool. Her face is actually accurate to her animation and painted in gold, unlike the original American release, which was painted in some kind of weird shade of orange. And I can kind of see where like she'd be more masculine. I want to say like have like it kind of looks like she has a chin strap beard. Like I want to say the red's a beard, but it wouldn't fit well for a female. So like I can kind of see why they like cast a man, because this like I shouldn't say that because like trans people do exist, and like not every like trans people are completely acceptable. So I shouldn't in this day and age. I'm not intending to make fun, but like her head is nice. That's not that's not one unfortunate thing about the head. It's translucent plastic, and they've painted the eyes blue. So the light piping that would have been there doesn't work. I've tried flashing a light behind it and got nothing, which is very unfortunate. More translucent plastic on her chest, which looks good, and it's not a load-bearing joint, so it shouldn't crumble to bits, theoretically. They did the same back of the head translucent on a Armada Starscream from Generations, who's actually getting, I've already talked about him once before, but a new Voyager class toy in Legacy, which I'm excited for. Other than that, I do quite like this design. It's like it's slim in the right places and like still looks very powerful shins. Like just I don't know. I like the design. Backpack aside, we'll talk about the backpack in a second when we get to posability. Her head is on a ball joint. Can look up that much, but like I'm worried I'm stressing the translucent plastic on the back of her head. But you can get a full swivel, tiny bit of side to side. Yeah, that is on the ball joint. Okay. Shoulders. I have a tiny nitpick. They don't stay level. Like that is kind of unfortunate. But they do have full range of motion all the way out. You do get a bicep swivel, 90-degree elbow bend, and a wrist swivel. Very nice. I quite have fun posing her. One of my favorite poses is this sort of very dominant, but like very heroic leader pose. where she's commanding. It looks like she's commanding troops into battle by just like go, like giving them encouragement. But we have to talk about the flap because it hinders the waist. Oh, swivel man. Oh, swivel man. There is a waist swivel, so don't get too upset, swivel man. But like, it's the most hindered joint. Is the only hindered joint really on this toy, and it feels very unfortunate that they couldn't fold the backpack up a tiny bit more to get it out of the way. Like, that's unfortunate. What isn't unfortunate are the hips. Going forward, they're very nice. You can even get them slightly beyond if you bend the knee. Gives you very nice tiger knee with that beyond 90-degree knee bend. And you can also get a beautiful spread. No. Thigh swivel. Very deep knee bend. Like, I like her thighs look almost too long, but they also like look really dynamic. Like, it looks like you're bending quite a lot. Like, that's very nice. You do get a thigh swivel. A tiny, tiny bit of ankle motion. You can rock it up and down that much. If you start transforming, you can go all the way back, but that's the transformation. And oh, look, listen to that loud click. And you can get about that much ankle tilt, which isn't a whole heck of a lot, but like overall, she's a very solid package of articulation. You also do have access to a potential stand port in her back there, in her very flat back. She's got no butt whatsoever. But yeah. Huh. But, but, oh my god. Where is that butt? It's nowhere. Besides the point, I quite like Override. Mostly, I think it's due to my bias to growing up through, like, well, I want to say growing up, but yeah, I'd say growing up. Because 2006 would have been, I was just over, close to 14 years old. Still in that prime watching cartoons age still. I don't remember how much of Cybertron, but I've already mentioned that. But like, as soon as I heard about this figure, I'm like, oh. So I'm happy to have her in person. She's fun to pose. Slightly hindered by that unfortunate back panel and the lacking range in her ankles, but she's still fun to pose as long as you kind of work within the parameters. Like she's the only character where I could put them in this pose and it actually feels right. Like any other character, it always feels awkward. Who do I have as a good example? Really, nobody. Oh, okay, Legacy Dragstrip. Never mind. He looks good, sort of as well. Okay, I haven't shown a comparison. Here's a Legacy Deluxe. She's slightly taller than a Deluxe. Okay, but here's the same price point and almost on the shelf at pretty much at the same time. Here's Legacy Voyager G-Axis. Like does not fill out the Voyager price point as much as G-Axis did. All right, so let's talk about her weapon for a second because we technically have to. in this so-called mode, it's not really much of anything. It does have an extra 5mm port on top. Spoilers for a future review. Here's a gun from nobody in particular that I'm not actually going to mention to prevent spoilers. So you can plug guns on top of this. But it's also sort of compatible with the Cyberplanet key. Because in all that budget, they still couldn't find room to actually fit a proper Cyberplanet key gimmick. Unfortunately. But I think they realized that because they did pseudo fit enough space to just about. And its appropriate key, the Velocitron or the Speed Planet. Speed Planet. Might as well have called it the Smoke Weed Everyday Planet. But yeah, you can sort of fit that in there and then pretend Cyber Key Power! And you flip it out into her double gun. And if you want, it's nowhere in the instructions, but these little fins are on hinges. Or finges if you want. So you can fold them up for your preferred blaster flavor. I don't know, I prefer shocking electric blueberry. Some people prefer raspberry. But let's keep them up. And you can plug it into her hand. And it is also compatible, I believe, with blast effect parts. Yes, it is. And you can shove this blast effect part in the hole if you want. I don't know why, but also she doesn't have any. Wait, she does. Are these compatible? Slightly. She's shooting something out of her shoulder. And she's got ports, because I should go over them, on the backs of her shoulders, on the side of her forearm, on her shin, and on her foot. So you can armor her up, however you want. But we're going to put the gun away. And we're going to talk about her transformation. Plug that back on her back. But to do that, I'm also going to have to transform everyone I've shown as a size comparison. So I'll be right back. Transformation. Now, let's get this going and get to the race. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D style. So it really doesn't matter which way you start. You can do it both ways, but let's start with the legs. So you're going to come to these panels, fold them out, and fold them out that far. Fold them down at the same time, fold the foot up. Do the same thing on the other side. Down and down. Going to rotate them. And we'll leave them for now. Come to the hands. You're going to want to rotate them around. I'm sure there's some other way you can do it, but oh well. And we're going to start by dislocating her shoulders. Ow, that looks painful. Dislocate the other shoulder. And they're on slides, so slide them out as far as they can go. And then we're going to rotate the backpacks till it locks in to those shoulder pegs right there. Rotate the canopy up. And we're going to go all the way back. Are we? No. No. Sorry. Confused myself. We're going to go down like that. And then we're going to come to the back and slide the shoulder panels till they lock into that post right there. do that. Rotate. And you're going to plug the arm into the spine. She's grabbing her own spine. That does not look comfortable. Same thing on the other side. Tab it in, tab it in. And make sure these are the arms snuggle up together. Nice and tight. There we go. Arms are plugged in. And we'll come loose because it's just what they do. And we're going to finish the legs. Unlock them from that. And also just going backwards. Oh, that's a nice click. That's a stern, healthy click. And this was the step that confused me the most. You actually have to rotate the thigh just at that angle so the shin can plug into the canopy. Do the other side. Rotate and plug the halves together. Plug them both into the canopy. And there we have one sci-fi police, not even police car, just one sci-fi awesome car. AKA Override in her alt mode. And I kind of love this car mode. Like, I don't know, something about it, just maybe it's the shapes, the very brazen visible head, which is not lazy on the toy developer's side. That's actually accurate to the animation model. And so it's lazy on the animation model, which the toy is based off. I don't know. It's hard to describe how I feel about this car mode, besides I like it a lot. It's definitely not something you would see on Earth. Very much an alien sports car. But I don't know. Besides the idea of like a golden Volkswagen Beetle, I don't know, this I would kind of love to, like, maybe this is my I don't know, second dream car. I'm never gonna drive a car. If I did, I'd love to drive something like this. But that being said, it does look the best from the top or the front. When you look at it from the bottom, yep, she's clutching her own spinal cord. And these bits are kind of obvious as shoulders. But in defense of that, if you saw the car mode first, I don't know if you'd be able to tell that they're shoulders or like chest pieces. I think they blend away into the disguise just enough to get away with it. Again, the gold paint on the rims is a very nice touch. This is one spot where I don't mind translucent plastic because they're not load bearing and they're, I don't know, they might be safe. But I really like the fact that the weapon can stay on. It's not parts forming. You can remove it if you want, but you don't have to. Although, I don't know, it kind of feels like it ruins the aerodynamicism when it goes, and it misses a bit of something. What else can we do? It can roll well. You can plug a weapon there. Everything else is pretty much still available. This gives me a chuckle. It gives me a X-Brawn vibes from RID. Maybe I should actually review that toy one day. Leave a like if you think I should review RID X-Brawn. Because I got some stories. I got a story about him. Let's run the gamut of size comparisons. Landmine. He's landmine. I looked it up. her partner in crime, so to speak. Hot shot. That didn't go as far as I wanted it to. She would, in my opinion, she would have won the race if it weren't for the whole thing being as designed as a vehicle. Ha. But the story was for Hot Shot. She would have, in my opinion, she would have won. Scourge. Who you have to do the gimmick. I don't have a Jungle Planet key, so just imagine Cyber Key Power. Yeah. I don't want to use a cyber. I don't want to use a sep. This looks like a. Is this a universe key? I can't remember. I can't. It's definitely not one of the proper planet keys. And where the did I just put that thing right there? Vector Prime. There. That's a good concise comparison. This is going to be a random train of thought, but go with it with me. I could totally see a retool of G-Axis into Vector Prime. Like, look at them; they have very similar proportions, like long canopies with chunky bodies with wings that are on struts. Like, I think you could get away with a Vector Prime remold out of this. I don't see another. Off the top of my head, I don't see another way to get a modern Vector Prime toy. Like, really. I don't think they're going to give this guy, like, a brand new mold. And if we had to pick a mold, I think this might be the closest one. Like, anyway. Which would I would also like to see a Star Wars crossover Y-Wing out of this thing, if they never did it. Because, come on. It looks like a goddamn Y-Wing. Why not Hasbro? Oh. The Megatron. The Batmobile. That's not to scale. But it's hilarious. And I love this toy. Part of me still wants an actually new version of this, but I don't know if they'll do it. Maybe a commander class. That would be awesome. I don't know, Velocitron Wave 2, maybe? No, wait, Velocitron Wave 2 is already leaked. We're getting an Armada Megatron. We're not getting a Cybertron Megatron. Leo Breaker. And, oh yeah, the planet of Cybertron itself. Now here's a toy that I think TJ's probably already talked about as a good idea for like a HasLab project. Not even commander class, like maybe Omega Supreme scale. Because if we got fucking HasLab Unicron, how can we have Unicron but not his brother? If you don't remember the size of Omega Supreme, I want a Unicron this big, not Unicron. Primus. Primus. Cybertron. Cybertron Primus. This guy's still pretty awesome. Clack. Clack. Oh. And Why not? Let's do these two Legacy Voyagers. So, yeah. I am down for the race. The override. You can sort of fold their guns only about that much. Really? It's all about the car. And if you can't race it. Yes. I highly recommend this figure. But maybe not quite for Voyager price. Maybe wait for a sale. If it's Walmart, they regularly do that kind of thing. I don't know. If I had to tiny nitpick the car mode, besides the kibble on the bottom, it's the canopy does not really want to tab into the legs. Like, that's my only, I guess, slight qualm is I really got to force that connection, and that's not good on translucent plastic. But yes, very good toy of a character that much needed a new toy. So I'll see you guys at the finish line. But with Transformers, there is no finish line. So here's to the next decade of plus. And maybe we'll get some more Cybertron characters. Because evidently they can do it right. So thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this long video. That didn't need to be this long, but I couldn't stop talking. And oh, what's that? I see the checkered flag. And it's on the white flag of surrender. Oh, I think you know what that means. It means I have to go get him first. I'm coming! I'm recording this the night before Comic-Con. And if this doesn't go out before Comic-Con, then I'm about to be at Comic-Con, so yay, Comic-Con! Also, keep it weird. Bye. Skrrr! 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 She's watching you.